With the zoo for a long time. They're in our animal program department. If you want these folks to join your organizations or your birthday parties or whatever type of event you have, call the zoo because we'll come to you. This is a snow leopard. And unfortunately, snow leopards are highly endangered. There's only a couple thousand left. They thought there were only hundreds left. They're very elusive, so it's hard to see them. Beautiful animal, and they're found in the Himalayas. They're in an area where it's very rocky. I'm talking straight up and down rocks. And they have very, very thick fur to keep them nice and warm because they're found in such a high elevation that it's very, very cool there. Now look at the pelt or the fur. Isn't that beautiful? Unfortunately, though, that's one of the reasons why they're highly endangered, because humans think that's beautiful to wear. And unfortunately, a lot of them have been killed in the black market, and poaching is very, very high in that area. So as conservationists and biologists, we educate the locals to leave the snow leopard where they belong. Now, the thing that's really neat about snow leopards is they sweat on their pads of their feet, believe it or not. That's pretty much the only place they sweat. And the scientists believe it's for them to get traction. So because they're sweating, they can get onto ice and snow, and it gives them just enough grip to hang on to that cliff. Now this animal here is how old? About 4 months, 5 months? About 4 or 5 months old. Beautiful animal, and this is in part of a breeding program that it'll go from this zoo to another zoo and be paired up. Just like, have you seen our tigers or heard about our young tigers? We just had the first tiger cubs in 20 years at the zoo. 20 years. And it's very special that we work with other zoos throughout the nation. We don't collect our animals from the wild. We actually work with other zoos, and we appreciate the cooperation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's see what else we have. Okay, and Beth is carrying a bald eagle. Oh no. Sorry. I thought they said bald eagle. She's carrying a black-footed penguin. A penguin. So let's talk about penguins, because a lot of people think that penguins they all need that snow and ice, right? Well, there's 18 different species of penguins, and only 5 live in the Antarctic. Not in the Arctic, in the Antarctic. This is a tropical bird from Africa. It's called it has many names. The African penguin, the black-footed penguin, and the jackass penguin. And the reason why they call them that is not because they make fools out of themselves at parties, but it's because they call just like a donkey. They have a bray just like a donkey. Now we have 9 in our promo department, and then we also have many from South America in our exhibits that you can see at the zoo. Now the penguin is really a unique animal. They cannot fly unless they're in the water. Then they can travel about 45 miles an hour using their wings as udders to move left and right. Very, very quick. And they're eating squid and different fish. They have 3 eyelids, upper, lower, and a nictitating, which means that it protects their eye. So if they're going after a fish, they don't want to get their eye injured, because then they're in deep trouble. They have to go very fast to get away from the killer whales and the seals. They mate for life. They stay in one area. They use their nest about the size of the table that you're sitting at. They continually go to that, and they continue to build on that nest using rocks and sticks. And they also use their own fertilizer to glue the rocks and sticks together. So that is why these guys are in trouble, because the locals want to use the nesting material for their crops. So they'll remove their nest, and if they do that, then there's no eggs. Now, in certain breeds, the male will do all the work, like the ones in Antarctica. The female will lay the egg, and then the male will incubate that egg and raise that chick while the female's gone for about 6 or 7 months. The male will lose more than half of its body weight, and then the female will come back real fat and happy, and then regurgitate their food that they have caught, and then the male will go off into the ocean to find its food. Beautiful animal found in South Africa. So let's hear it for the black-footed deer.